Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about my personal, unpopular opinions about Korea. Before I start, I do have a bit of a sore throat, so I kind of have like a nasally voice right now. Please bear with me. I would say I'm a Korean American. If there are any like Asian Americans out there who are interested in living Korea and thinking about living in Korea, I hope this might be helpful to you. Me making this video isn't like an attack on Korea as a country because obviously it's my country. I think it's more so me trying to be a bit personally informational. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, these are my opinions, yes, but this isn't like, oh, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, this is good. Like, everything's not black and white. So this isn't about me like choosing sides. I'm not saying Korea is bad. I'm not saying America is bad. I'm not saying any culture is bad. I'm just giving my opinions based on my experiences of what parts of this culture that I kind of don't understand, and what parts of living here that bother me and kind of throw me off. Also, I'm back with my haircut. I didn't expect it to be this short, but I don't know, I kind of like it. I think she did very well. Let's go right into it. First, bandwagon culture is getting out of hand. Honestly, with social media these days, the entire world is kind of hopping on the bandwagon. I feel like there's only like one wagon. But I feel like as a culture, Western people are more prone to find their own kind of like individualism inside that wagon. Like, they're not going to just like copy and paste every single little thing. I don't want to speak for all Asian cultures, but in Korea, what I've experienced is whenever the trend changes, that kind of becomes the standard of everything. And when you don't fall into that standard, you're perceived as kind of weird. And I'm all for trends and I'm all for like whatever's popular these days, but I think bandwagon culture becomes a problem when people are judging you for not hopping on the bandwagon. And these types of people annoy me so much. Everyone doing the same thing, wearing the same clothes, eating the same thing. It's kind of like scary. I would say it's very prominent in the F&B industry. One type of food would trend, for example, and the entire country would be working to release those types of products, like Dubai chocolate, for example. Okay, we get it, like it's a trend, but literally every single cafe I would walk into, they would have like a Dubai style type of food. I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm just like, I kind of get sick of it, you know? Like, I would hope that every place has their like own type of standard and they would work within that standard. But what I've realized is everyone kind of throws away their own identity to match like the societal norm, I guess I would say. This is also very prominent in fashion. So like, skinny jeans have been out for a while and I'm a big fan of skinny jeans. I would wear skinny jeans one day and in the company everyone would be like, oh my god, like those aren't like really trending these days, right? Like why does that matter? Why do you care? The funniest part is that because trends are changing so fast these days, almost no one is like perfectly on trend. And who says you have to be on trend all the time? Like, if you find the trend and you like it, then good for you. If you find the trend and you don't like it, that's also completely fine. You don't have to like everything that's trending. But I feel like what I've experienced is that if you don't like what everyone else likes, you're weird. And if you like something that everyone else doesn't like, you're weird. I've gotten a lot of like backhanded comments like, oh, like maybe it's because you're from America, like, oh, maybe it's because like you don't really know like the Korean culture. Like, it appears in a lot of places. Like, these are just a few examples, like food, fashion, makeup, even things like interior design. Like, let's say like beige and white is trending, then like everyone would have their room in like a beige and white tone. They would suddenly get like beige and white like interior items. Like, they would suddenly change their lamp and their bed sheets. Like, it just kind of scares me how no one really has their own opinions here. Number two, Koreans are not that innocent. I mean this in multiple ways, but I think because of K-pop, K-culture, K-dramas, or whatever, because there's things like aegyo, people think of Asians as more on the cute side, more kind of to themselves. It's funny because I started seeing like the impersonations of Hongdae guys. I think they're like literally the perfect example of Koreans are not innocent. And it's not just guys, it's girls too. And honestly, these days, it's more girls that are just acting really weird. As a society, Koreans want to fit in to the society, like I talked about before with the bandwagon. If you're not like similar to everyone in your group, then you're like the outlier. I guess everyone fakes and like puts on a mask and pretends that they are something that they're not. So everyone seems so kind, so pure, so cute, so innocent. People will have like some nasty thoughts behind that mask. Obviously, this doesn't apply just for Koreans. It's literally anyone around the world. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. In Korean, I would say it's 음침해. It's like mentally perverted. Like basically your input is another thing and your output is another thing. So like you would think one thing and output another thing. So I think that's very, very perverted. Like for you to only like keep your thoughts to yourself, like only like have these emotions to yourself and go out there and pretend like you're like Miss Little Perfect Girl. I think that's not innocent at all. Just as a personality. I don't even mean this in like relationships like boys and girls. I mean this in like if you're innocent and pure, then usually I would think like A equals A, B equals B. But people I've met, A equals C, C equals F, F equals Z. Like people aren't the way they seem here. And I think that's why I have tried to be really careful when I approach people and befriend people, because I think I can just think of like 5 people right now off the top of my head where I thought they were such innocent, pure, like kind people, and they have stabbed me in the back like in crazy ways for like very, very minuscule reasons, very like high school drama type of thing. And I'm 23, so they should be over that by now, you know. Moving on, Korean superiority. I think this is something that has become more a bit known with Korean culture kind of on the trend rising. I feel as though Koreans have gotten a bit arrogant. A lot of Koreans that I've been seeing, even on like social media, they kind of act like they're better than other Asian nationalities, and I think that's just really comical. Korea was nothing like a few decades ago. Korea has evolved and improved drastically and really, really fast. I think that's why maybe this is happening, but Korean superiority is real. I think one thing that's contributing to this is it's not just Korea. Like it's other Asian countries that also kind of think they treat Koreans better. And this is something I've personally experienced when I went to some East Asian countries like Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan. If you're Korean, like they suddenly look at you a different way, they suddenly treat you a different way. I've seen some posts on like Instagram where like a pretty Korean girl goes to like visits an East Asian country, and everyone on the streets is just like taking pictures of her because they think she's a celebrity. I've actually had some experiences where I went to East Asia for work, and someone who was kind of hostile towards me, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm from Korea. And suddenly they would turn their attitude around like 180 degrees. Maybe that's contributing to it, but like Koreans have so much pride in their country, and I get it. Like I'm patriotic too. I love my country. I love its history. I want to advocate for its history and everything that Korea went through. I think it's a different story when like you're literally the same race, and because you're in a country where entertainment has gotten more popular, people are kind of being cocky about it. I think this is something that you really have to live in Korea and talk to like Korean people for you to realize. Like, moving on, I have sensed a huge lack of emotional openness in Korea. With friends, with guys, with everyone, no one's really willing to be open and show their weaknesses. You might say, hey Crystal, they're just not close with you, maybe they don't want to talk about their feelings with you. No, I'm talking about like people who I have been friends with for like 3 years, 5 years. I meet them multiple times a month, and they would still talk about the most shallow topics ever. Whenever I get together with like a Korean friend who was like born and raised in Korea, all she would talk about is guys. And it's not even like her boyfriend. Like if you're talking about your boyfriend and your relationship, I think that's something that's really deep. And if you're talking to me about it, I feel like you trust me enough to talk about that with me, and I appreciate that. But what I'm talking about is like very like general topics on guys. Oh, like what's your type? Like, oh my god, like what if like this guy did this? What if like a guy did this? Like very like hypothetical situations. And those are fun sometimes, but I feel like a lot of the times they're just saying that to avoid the topic of actually going in deep and talking about their personal life. Like emotional openness and vulnerability is literally the biggest part in getting close to someone. Like I can meet the same person every day of the week, but if they don't open up to me about anything in their lives, I will not feel close to them at all. It's just proximity. You just feel like physically close to them. But let's say I meet someone like once a month, and every time I meet them, they're talking about like their lives, like what's going on, like things, like happy things that happen, sad things that happened, and they want to know mine as well. I feel like that's an actual connection where we can talk about things that are important to us. I feel like that's what relationships are for. That's what friendships are for. I don't think I've actually had like a genuine deep conversation with any of my Korean friends before, because every time I would try to bring up something even like slightly negative, they would like just go like, oh, not talking about that, like let's switch the topic. Like yeah, not going in that deep. Maybe it's part of the culture here and I respect that. Those people get along with those types of people. I just don't get along with those types of people. Like I can't have like a brain dead conversation for hours and hours. I can't like fake pretending to care about all these like random stuff they're talking about. Like all they would talk about is guys, celebrities, food, what's trending, like Instagram. I don't want that to be like the sole topics of our conversation. I want to make a connection with you. I want to speak about something that you care about, that I care about, that I want to know your values. I want to know how you feel about certain things. I want to know if you're mad at me. I want to know if you're happy with me. And no one I've met is willing to open up about that. So I think I've gone to a point where I've kind of just given up, honestly. I honestly don't even try to be friends with those types of people. Like I would try maybe like 3 to 4 times I would bring something up that's personal. If they try to steer from all deep conversations more than 3 or 4 times, then that gives me a signal that this person is not my person and I can't go deep in a relationship. My voice is starting to get very not good, so I'm gonna have a chocolate. Moving on. There is a huge misinterpretation of individuality in Korea. Because Korea and a lot of Asian countries kind of look up to more Western cultures like America, Europe, Australia, and especially Koreans who are obsessed with their looks love Americans and Europeans. I think because of that interest, a lot of people in Korea want to adapt like some American cultures, some European cultures. They are interested in how the people are there. And what I've experienced in America is people are a lot more individualistic. They're a lot more dependent on literally everything. They're also more open, but somehow they also care more about their privacy. These are just some of the characteristics that I've experienced with Americans. And what I've experienced in Korea is practically the opposite. Korea is very much a group culture. Everything happens in groups. You go to the bathroom in groups. You eat lunch in groups. There's not a lot of individuality. There's not a lot of like self-acting things that happen, especially if you start to work at a company here. If you make it known that you're kind of like an individualistic person, they might not like you that much. Speaking from experience, by the way. I'm very used to this kind of like individualism, like don't bother me, I won't bother you, just go on with their lives. But I feel like Korea has misinterpreted it and adapted it in a way that it's not supposed to be. I think they mistook individualistic for I don't know, like selfish maybe. The most common excuse I've heard from these type of people is I'm honest. That's rude, selfish, and crossing boundaries. But I feel like people don't know how to distinguish that. these types of people only care about themselves. In Korean, an individualist is called 개인주의자 and an egoist is called 이기주의자. And I feel like people confuse these two a little bit. A lot of people who are going around saying they're individualists are most likely egoists, and they just don't want to look bad. I don't think egoist is completely a bad thing either. If you're a very quiet and introverted egoist, honestly, like, I don't think they cause any harm to society. But if you're like an outspoken egoist, I think that's when it becomes a problem. If you're an egoist and you only care about yourself and you want to maximize your gains and your profits, but you want to minimize all your losses and you don't care about anyone else, and you're willing to and want to step on other people to get to a goal that you want, that's an egoist. Go ahead, but just don't make it known and don't sugarcoat it as individualist. If you're greedy, I also think it means you have passion. You have goals. You're a very goal-oriented person. But don't sugarcoat yourself as an individualist, because now all the other individualists look bad. You're not an individualist if you are willing to put down others for your benefit. You're an egoist. And they're completely different things, even though the line is very fine. I've met a lot of Koreans like that, especially at work. They're willing to put other team members down for their own benefit, for their own like bonuses, I guess. They're willing to lie about the truth to make their superiors like them, to get a promotion, because individualism isn't the foundation in the Korean culture and history. Way too many people are misinterpreting it. Moving on, I think I can make a whole nother video about this because I feel so strongly about this, but so many people in Korea have such bad table manners. Like terrible table manners. This includes so many things, but I think the main thing that bothers me is the sound and shoes off. You can go into like one of those big like franchise coffee shops. You will see people in their 10s and 20s with their shoes off. Sometimes not even socks, just like bare feet. So I would go in there and I would like be enjoying my latte, and I would look around and I would make eye contact with someone's dirty foot. Why? Like why? Going back to my previous point, they would say they're individualists because, oh, like I'm just being in my own space. Like, no, that's being selfish. Like, keep your stink to yourself. I don't want to see your foot. I've been to multiple restaurants, like especially like fried chicken places, or I guess more like hole-in-the-wall restaurants. I don't want to be stereotypical, but it's mostly people in their 40s to 60s, men who take off their shoes and they put one leg like this and they're eating like this. If I see you do that in a restaurant, I will walk out and I will never go to that restaurant again. There's a type of, I guess, eating sound that a lot of Koreans like. It's called 면치기. The literal translation for that is hitting the noodles. And basically, because there are a lot of noodle-based dishes in Korea and in Asia, Koreans think that noodles taste better when you're going like don't do that. I don't know why people think that slurping your noodles, smacking your food, and showing me everything that's inside of your mouth is good table manners, and why Koreans think that if you eat like that, you're showing that the food is delicious. No, there are so many other ways you can express this food is delicious, such as saying this food is delicious. You don't have to go like, it's obnoxious and it's gross, and I don't want to sit at a table with someone with such shit table manners. People are like, oh, why are you like so quiet when you eat? Why are you so obnoxious when you eat? Some foods have more texture than others. Let's say like foods like rice cake or jelly, things that are more sticky. Sometimes it's inevitable to make sound, you know? Sometimes you get a little here and there. I once saw someone eat ice cream and somehow they're still smacking. And with soup too. Most Korean foods are hot, like boiling hot soups. They would go like let me demonstrate with my water bottle. So this is how I would normally take a sip. This is how some Koreans would take a sip. You're not a sommelier. And when you do that with hot foods, since you're inhaling air at the same time that you're consuming the food, the soup sometimes goes in your, I don't know the scientific term, but your air channel, not your food channel. And then they start coughing again. So it's like this cycle. People are ordering hot foods, and while they can just blow on it, they can just go like, well, that's an option. No, they just go like, get away from me. Gross. Stop doing that. Moving on to my last point, which I think is a good little wrap up of everything I have said before. A lot of the Koreans that I have observed here don't respect people's preferences. And this has to do with Bandwagon, this has to do with the lack of emotional openness, this has to do with everything that I've talked about earlier in the video. People have like no interest in your preferences. Even little things like I don't really like noodles. And for some Koreans, that's a shock. Like, oh my god, like a Korean, like she doesn't like noodles, like, oh my god, are you even Korean? It's nothing that's hurting them. It's nothing that's hurting the society. It's nothing that's hurting the environment that we're in. I just don't like noodles, and that's a preference of mine. But some people are so bothered by that. I think it's one thing to playfully joke with someone you're close to about something. I think it's another thing to be giving like backhanded compliments or comments about what someone is wearing or doing or likes. I remember this one time I was talking about how much I like rosé to one of my superiors. It was just casual. We weren't working. It was our lunch break and we went for coffee. We were just having like casual conversations, and that was right when like rosé came out with APT and she was kind of like all over the internet. So I was talking about like, oh yeah, like I love rosé, like I just love her style, like I love like everything about her. And this dude has the audacity to say, I don't think she's that pretty. There is absolutely no reason to shut down someone's preferences like that. Like, if I tell you something that I'm excited about, something that I'm interested in, I want the other person to be like, oh my god, like, what about like this do you like? If I tell you about like this, let's say I tell you about like this restaurant that I really like, then a normal response I would think would be, oh my god, like when have you been there last? Like what's their best menu? And the responses that I'd be actually getting are, I don't really like that place. Did I ask? When we're talking about preferences and I never asked you, do you like Mexican food? Do you like tacos? Then you could say, I don't really like tacos. But let's say I'm talking about like, oh my god, like I went to this taco place over the weekend. They didn't just have tacos, they had like enchiladas, chimichangas, like their salsa was on point, like oh my god, like it was so good. And I'm like very excitedly talking about this topic, and this other person just goes in and be like, I don't like tacos. What are you doing? Like, okay, you don't have to like tacos, but can you at least respect this conversation we're having? Can you at least respect my preference of liking tacos? When you shut down someone's excitement for their preference, that's like one of the biggest red flags for me in friends and in guys. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you're right. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean someone else has to not like that thing. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you have to tell everyone that you don't like it, you know? I do see that it's kind of ironic because I'm literally telling you guys like these things I hate. Like at this point, if you're not going to be respectful of my preferences, just don't even start the conversation. I don't want to ruin my day with your negative thoughts. Like, these Korean people I've met always have to contribute their opinion to it. Always have to say something backhanded like, oh, like that place is kind of like, oh, that's kind of like, I don't really like that. Oh, but I think that's not good. If you're not going to respect my preferences, I'm not going to respect yours. I'm not going to care about you at all. Yeah, eye for eye. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching another video of me ranting. I think honestly just even making these videos kind of relieves a part of me because I feel like I'm actually talking to someone, and I feel like someone's actually listening to me. Like I said before, this is no shade towards the country itself. This is just an observation, a very scientific observation I've made. Obviously, every country has their ups and downs, but the reason why I feel so strongly about this is because I am Korean American. I feel like I have this pressure to accept Korean culture, to accept Koreans because I am Korean and I look Korean. But honestly, that's just not gonna happen. Like, there are parts of Korean culture that I totally do not agree with. I am not proud of. While I do love the country and that's why I'm literally living here, I don't love all its people. And this is just something that is my unpopular opinion. I just cannot wrap my head around some of the things these people say, these people do. It just comes off as very rude and unsettling to me. It really bothers me to a point where I had to make a public video about this to share with the whole world. I have my flaws. I have lots of flaws. But you know, it's the internet and the social media and I get to say my opinions. I sincerely apologize if this has hurt anyone's feelings. Do I? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I really do. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want to stereotype. I don't want to generalize. I'm not saying I hate all Korean people. I'm just saying there are some parts of the culture I don't really get. I can't get used to. Probably will not get used to. And I hope this video has been helpful for some people who are thinking about living in Korea and want a more realistic point of view. I'll stop talking and I hope to see you in my next video.